Well, hello.
Today is a very big day.
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Well, hey everybody.
Good morning, Expedition Engineering.
Hey guys, seriously, welcome to Expedition Engineering. We are still in the process of building our Expedition enclosure. This thing is getting massive. In the last episode, we ended with pieces being at the shop and all disconjointed, and a lot of really big pieces that need to get assembled. Is getting daunting at this point. So buckle up, because this is going to be a big episode where we go from the shop and a bunch of pieces to at the boat with it pretty much assembled. Before we can get to assembling these pieces, we do need to get sanding first. All of these faces need to be sanded. All the extra epoxy needs to get sanded off. They need to get sanded to the right shapes, because a lot of these pieces, we just created them a tiny bit extra big. It's a lot easier to take material away than it is to add it. And so a lot of sanding, a lot of grinding, a lot of shaping, just to make sure everything is nice and flat and flush and will bond nicely to each other.
Time to try and get the big one. It's a nice star roof though.
Honestly, working on this project solo is kind of comical because it is so big. Moving everything around is, you just kind of have to like walk things around back and forth. And as we just saw, I could not work on that flat sheet until I moved the rear arch, and I figured, while I'm moving the rear arch, I might as well sand it since it needs to get sanded anyway.
I got this in a spot that I could start sanding it. This is the huge one that I had prior moving. When I started sanding it, all to realize it still has plastic on it. I'm like, what is happening? Oh. I haven't taken my mask off for a long time. Okay, that's it. Done sanding for the night.
I managed to find jade, and now we are back at the shop. We got things picked up a little bit, kind of rearranged a little bit so we actually have some place to work. We didn't know where you went.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you found me.
Yep. So it's time to lay this up. Didn't do it last time because we didn't have enough epoxy, and we should have enough epoxy. Barely.
I forgot to hit record, but side one is getting squeegee.
Today is a big day of little layups, which is a very satisfying way to work. It feels like we're accomplishing a lot more than even if we use half the epoxy and half the materials, because it's a bunch of little things and it really brings it all to life. So today, the focus is on the most aft portion of the hardtop where the davit system is. And unfortunately, because we did run out of epoxy, we were forced to resort to West Systems, which is the worst epoxy we have ever used. I'm sorry if you work for the company and
I'm not.
And you're
Picking
offended.
your company.
Work on your formula, guys. This is not our favorite epoxy.
It's just foam, it's mostly air.
It's not heavy, it's just foam. Beautiful, that was...
I really wish we had filmed that. I'm sorry you didn't get to witness that. But this is now upside down on the form, lined up with this next piece, because we're going to be glassing those together here shortly. But that was an ordeal. This thing isn't that heavy, but it is just awkward, and then you move it, and then now it's like side heavy, and it's goofy. But we did it. It's only gonna get heavier though. That's the only concern, is that this is just going to get heavier and heavier. I am gonna do some sanding now, so that's gonna make it lighter, but yeah.
Well, I'm sad to say that we've lost Jade. But it's time to do this layup. So I got it all sanded up, cleaned, acetoned, got plastic underneath. I'm going to, Jade trimmed this edge off, so this is now the correct length. I'm going to put some fairing filler in that crack right there, and then some micro balloons in. There's a ledge right there that I need to fill, and then lay some carbon up and over, and then they shall be one. They are conjoined. So those two pieces are now one. Well, hey everybody, it's go time. We got these side pieces going on. Last night I glassed this to the beam, so these pieces are now connected. Now we're getting the sides with the curves glassed on. This is some fairing filler with some thickened epoxy to kind of secure it and make it tougher, not just fill it. And Jade is laying some carbon on there and putting some plastic on it. Now I can move over the weight. And basically she has to do that because the curve wants to fall off. And so right now we're only putting carbon on this side, and then later we can flip the entire thing over and put carbon on the other side. But kind of get to use weights to hold it all down. Feeling better?
Oh yes, it is so hot.
We have worked through the night tonight. It's about 5 in the morning right now, but check it out. Boom, baby.
And it's so huge. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, it looks really cool.
So excited.
Yeah, it's crazy how light this is. I mean, she's just moving her Dodger arch. It's quite a large unit, but she's moving all by herself.
It's not heavy, it's just bulky.
Yeah, it's just an awkward shape, right?
Yeah, it's up in this case.
Got this all smoothed out. Put a lot of grinding on this, getting this all smooth. A little bit of bulge here. We have to do some fairing. Probably lay some more glass across here, spare this all out. And Jade is still working on this corner here, getting this figured out. But we're getting there. Lots of grinding. Good dancing. Did a little bit of artistry with the grinder to get this curve transitioning from basically a 6-inch drop to I think it's a 4-inch drop in the back, maybe 2-inch, I can't remember. Here's what we used to have. This used to go there, about there, and just make it good. So that'll be a gusset, and that'll be on the inside as well. Gusset it to give this back a lot of strength, and then there will be a gusset on the inside, but it's gonna be a lot smaller on this inside. It's gonna just start here, so that you don't see it on this side. Maybe a touch, maybe just a little bit right there. Now I need to just get out the grinder, kind of grind this off, just make it a nice smooth radius. I just added this guy in here. This is just temporary. I think we're gonna have to do a little bit of work on this piece. This isn't sitting quite right, but I wanted to see what it looks like having a small gusset going here on the front. This is forward. All right, so this is very aft of the boat. This is going forward. So I think that looks pretty good. And that'll add a ton of strength, having just these gussets both on the inside and on both sides, right?
Good morning, Expedition Engineering. We are headed to the shop, and exciting news, we have a truck, and it is a big truck because we're going to the shop, we're going to do some work, and then we're going to be bringing stuff back to the boat. And I think we just said that we were going to be doing some glassing on the boat because we love that. It's always a good idea. So let's go. It's also 3 in the morning because we slept in.
We ended up making a little jig here to basically hold this in place so it can't move, and because right now it wants to tip over like that. So we got it screwed into the form basically, so it can't go anywhere. Now we need to make the rain gutter curves, and we're using the highest quality form making materials we could find.
As always.
Pool noodle.
To make this rain gutter, we actually have two different molds that we're using right now. The green part is actually going to be the rain trough, and then the pink pool noodle is going to be the outside radius curve. We put down tape so that we could wax the foam rain gutter part and then take the tape off, and now we can lay carbon over the rain gutter part under the pool noodle and wrap it up and around to hopefully kind of get an S curve that is glassed to that hardtop, hopefully.
Well, yesterday I went and parked the truck and Jade pulled out all the awesome that she has and installed the arch by herself. So it is temporarily installed. You can see it here, she's got it held up by the boom. And we just need to get it in the perfect spot. It's really close to being in the right spot because we left all of our little locator blocks and everything. So we need to get that perfectly aligned, and then we need to get this hardtop held up. You can see our nice pool noodle curve coming here, and you'll notice that there are some things in the way now, sunshade and such, because with no bimini our boat gets hot, and time to get this hardtop done. Wow, that came out way better than I expected.
That turned out wonderful.
Jade waxed this with the mold release wax, and it worked obviously extremely well. Jade is inside the boat and she pulls from the inside out. Last night she pre-drilled the holes so we could locate them, and now I'm just holding the arch so that when she drills, it'll drill in through here in the exact right spot that's on the boat, because that's what matters more, is that the holes line up. I gotta say, if there's one thing I'm most excited about, it's getting rid of this thing. Stepping on this is worse than a Lego. Okay, holes are drilled through the hole, I guess deck, and through the arch. Now we're going to try feeding the bolts through from the inside out, and then Jade will reach her hand through our little speaker hole that we made and try and get nuts on. We got it mounted, guys. We got it mounted. Let's go check it out.
It's amazing. I've been being treated to a free sauna out here. We should probably get off the phone.
Definitely needs those other two bolts.
Definitely. And it also needs to be cinched down.
And it needs to be, yeah, because right now it isn't completely touching the hole. Only in some places.
And on the inside it's going against the headliner, not anything actually secure, meaning that it's wobbly. But we're mounted.
I'm gonna get working on this top side. It needs some repairs and maybe a little bit of an angle change down here. But this is what I grinded off last time. I need to re-glass this, get some of these voids patched up. Got this all ready for glass, carbon really. Clean up this edge right here and all the fairing filler, kind of sand. There's a layer of S-glass here now. Jade got some fairing filler here on this corner, and then I spent a long time grinding on this side, trying to make this a little prettier. Still needs a lot of work to go, but getting there. And while I was doing that, Jade has been busy. She got this going. This is just a piece of PVC pipe wrapped in carbon fiber. We can hopefully, she waxed the tube, and then hopefully we can get the carbon fiber tube off. Then we'll put it inside of here, down this, and then that will be for the wires to run through. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I'm about to wet out this carbon, and this is the plastic for it, get this carbon, and then this is gonna go on this top side and cover that whole thing in carbon, and it will overlap and tie into that piece there. So then this will all be carboned. Carbon is on. Got it all sheeted on there. It now tabs over about 4 inches, which is good. So we'll have these, there's not all the way up here because we'll end up having to put more carbon up here to tab in these guys, the curves, to make them all nice and pretty. But that should add a lot of strength to this piece here.
We need to see now if we can get this off of the PVC. I did wax it, but so far I've had 0 luck. So I'm gonna see if with Brett's help we can twist it. My grip just cannot keep up with your grip.
Clearly that did not work. So I think we may have to try it another time. Like Jay said, maybe drill a hole in it,
so we have some leverage or something. But we are done at the shop for the night. We need to clean up this, kind of move this out of the way, because right now it's in everyone's space. Put away our sander, vacuum.
Then we get to put together the Dodger.
Then we get to go back to the boat and assemble the Dodger. All right, packed up. Now we go back to the boat. We're actually gonna work right now on the Dodger outline, window framing, all that. So that's back to the boat. We have epoxy, brushes, mixing cups, gloves. Come out here to Mosquitoville.
And now is where computer and art comes to real life. And it took us over a couple days to make sure we got all the angles and rakes forward, up, down, left, and right, all just right so it looks right and will function right based on everything we figured out so far.
Well, good morning. Last night we worked through the night and this is now all hardened and cured, and we got the foam laid here. You know, things like this, they don't look like they should take that long. You know, we got the teak cut out and the foam laid up, and it is curved, or angled, I guess I should say. Angled here, so that it should come up and match up at the top here, this angle for the window, because this is the bottom window sill, basically. So it's all gonna be framed in, and it's just all the little things like that that just take forever just to make that just right. But the plan right now is I'm going to clean this all up. These are hot glued down, which means we have until about 10 a.m. before the glue melts. So I'm going to tape next to them and then wax all around them so that we can lay carbon up and over them and make these rigid, because if we take them off right now, they'll lose the shape, and we need it to hold that shape. So we're gonna lay carbon, because the carbon's gonna need to be there anyway. We'll lay the carbon so it holds that curve, and then we can put in the beams that will go up for the windows as the supports. We are now taped and waxed. The mosquitoes are coming out and the sun is rising, so it's starting to get warm, but hasn't crusted this wall yet. So we're still okay. But
Definitely a time.
now it's time to cut the glass, wet it out, and get it laid up. And we are moving quick, but I think we'll make it. We got it on, and now Jade's getting plastic on it, and the plastic really, because it sucks all the air out, and so then it can't expand. You get the plastic on, sucks it down, and then it really holds the curve. Now I'm gonna go back around and clean up all of our drips, because we have a bunch of little drips, and we're tired, our backs are tired from being hunched, and so it'd be really easy to call it quits right now and go stretch and relax. But it'll take like 5 minutes to clean up now, but hours if we let it cure, and maybe permanent damage. So worth the 5 minutes now. We just had kind of a manic, crazy fixing session. We went and walked the dogs, got some coffee, and came back and checked on things, and all of this was popped up. You can see that's peeling up, but all of this was popped up. The hot glue, for whatever reason, came unstuck, and so we don't know if it's that the epoxy canceled out the glue, or if maybe the wax somehow melted and got under, or what happened, but it was popped up everywhere, and so all the angles were wrong, all the heights were wrong, and so we had to hurry and go back through and glue everything down, tape everything down, and I think it's gonna work. Whew. That was wild. Jade is working on, we're calling these uprights. These are the legs that will be on the front and the sides of the Dodger to hold it up and to support the windows. So the windows will meet here and bond to this. So these are our window legs. Well, hello. It feels like it has been forever since we were at the shop, but the reality is it's been about 48 hours. We've just been doing a lot at the boat. So we are here back at the shop, got the hardtop behind me here, and we are just doing a bunch of smaller things today. Gonna be working on the underside of this, working on another tube, maybe the holding tank. We brought the legs, we brought the, what do we call them? The uprights. We brought the uprights here, we're gonna work on those. We don't really have any more of the big projects to do anymore, any more of these, huge things. Now it's a bunch of the kind of the smaller things that just consume everything. this is our conduit. We were gonna use PVC pipe. It was really heavy. We couldn't get any thin-walled stuff that was the right size, so Jade made it. This is going to live inside of here somewhere, and it'll run not all the way to the bottom, but a couple, maybe like 6 inches off the bottom, and then a few inches off the top, and we'll just kind of tab it in there. Doesn't need to be super secure, doesn't need to be strong at all. It literally is just to keep the wires in a smaller location so that they can't bang around and be all noisy and everything in here, and keep them from chafing as much and all that sort of stuff. So this is great. It's super smooth on the inside because it was wrapped around that perfectly smooth surface. Nothing for wires to catch on, snag on, and it's great.
Perfect.
Good job.
Perfect.
I've just got this all cleaned up, getting ready to lay. We did the one side of this the other day.
And Jade, this is becoming one of the trickier parts of this. We want these corners to be the same. And so Jade's been a long time, this side's kind of ugly, but this side's pretty, making these curves perfectly, and then laid a bunch of strings with epoxy and some fairing filler on them, let them cure, and then peeled them off as waxed and brought them over here. And so now she's basically made a skeleton, a wire form, wire mold there that has that curve exactly. It's pretty cool to see. Jade's got this curve laid up, beautiful, and fixing this gap over here. And this is flipped over, curing. Now about to get sanding on our uprights. We did the bulk sanding on the belt sander. Now I'm gonna do some hand sanding to get out any voids so we can take it back to the boat and glass into the boat today. It is a hot night tonight, but we're back in the shop. This is all cured up. We got the big boy moved out here now. Jade is just getting going on these curves. She glassed these up last night. I'll go to the other side. She got this all glassed up, carboned up, I guess, last night. Sand off that tape and just getting these curves. Matching that curve so we can put it on the other side. And then we'll carbon these tonight. And tomorrow, what time tomorrow? Afternoon? Tomorrow afternoon. We have a rental truck again. So we're gonna be taking this guy home and installing it. Oh boy.
Today is a very big day because today is install day, test fit install day. So what we're doing right now is we're cleaning off the form. We're gonna flip this guy upside down onto the form, and then we're going to lay out these curves here. Then we're gonna give them a few hours to get mostly cured before we touch it. And then at that point, we're gonna load it into the truck. We're gonna take it to the boat. We are going to attempt to put it on the boat without any serious injury or death or dropping the entire thing in the ocean. And it will be... That you all fell in the water?
I fell in the water, but you're like watching, like, huh.
I had the thought the other day, like, I wonder if it would float. I wonder if the foam is buoyant.
I think the foam is buoyant, but I think there's more carbon than there is flotation.
Is carbon buoyant?
I don't think so.
A question that we will hopefully not find the answer out to. So we're gonna have to leave you wondering on that one. Okay, the time has come. It's in the van. The van is at the boat. The boat has been reversed using lines, not engines. to be very close to the dock, which is mildly terrifying. And now we're gonna see if we can get the hardtop on the boat.
Turn.
Okay, so now what's the plan?
There we go. Okay.
The washers just fell off. It was too big for the net. Alright, that should give us our pivot.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
That looks really good. Now that that back curve is done, that makes a huge difference. Okay, should we go see it from the side? What do you think?
I like it. There's not going to be much, and that's going to almost start leveling out the angle of the Dodger. Hardtop. Look how good that looks, guys. Whew. And that went so much better than I expected. That was great. It really was great. It went on easy. It installed beautifully. We had to undo our ratchet strap and kind of position it into place. The boat didn't hit the dock. Winning all around.